Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today on this channel I'm going to give you 5 different plays that you can run on your team if you have a couple of really great 3-point shooters. So let's get down to the clipboard and let's check this out. So this first play is kind of a rare set. It's the 2-1-2. I've also heard coaches call it the internal triangle set. So basically it's essentially just 2 guards up top. We have our small forward in the middle and we have our 2 post players down low. And what we're going to do is try and get an open 3-point shot for player 1. Or if player 1 had the ball, we would try and get a 3-point shot over here for player 2. So how this is going to work is that let's say player 2 has that ball. Player 3 is going to go and set a screen for player 1. Player 1 is going to then cut towards that right side of the court. Next, player 2 is going to pass him the ball and he's going to take that 3-point shot. Now, if player 3 was to switch off, what we would then do is have player 3 screen down for player 5, and then on that screen we would now have player 4, he would clear out, and we would now have player 5 curling across the key where he can get a nice close shot. That's kind of our backup plan. However, our number one option is player 1 getting that 3-point shot along that wing. Now, against the 2-3 zone, or even against a man-to-man, this works really well. Now, what we're going to have is player 4 setting a screen down for player 4, and player 5 setting a screen down for player 3. Now, this is a horns offense, and once they set those screens, we're going to have player 2 and player 3 popping up using those screens, and hopefully one of those 2 players are going to be open. If they're not open, and let's say player 4 fought through, player 3 and 5 shifted over, and then player 3 is hopefully open. However, let's say they're not open and we have player 5 still guarding that middle of the key. We can now have player 1 pass over to player 4. Player 5, red, would then be obligated to go and defend that. Player 5 could be open in that low post, or if player 3 snuck back down, he can do a skip pass out for player 3 for the 3-point shot. Now, most likely, player 3 and player 2 should be open against both a man-to-man zone, a man-to-man defense, as well as a 2-3 zone. If you're a basketball coach, just really quickly, if you want some custom basketball practice plans, check out the link in the description below. Now, in this third play, this works really well against a man-to-man defense as well as a 3-2 zone. Now, the reason why this works really good against the 3-2 zone because these corners are generally pretty well unprotected. So what we're going to have most likely is these 2 players are going to be kind of moving down just a bit, and players 4 and 5 are going to be mostly fronting players 4 and 5 in the post. What we are going to have now is player 1 is going to dribble over to one of the other sides. It doesn't really matter at this point. And then that's going to initiate most likely a double team. At this time, we're going to have player 3 setting a screen up top for player 3, red, and player 2 is going to be cutting baseline. Meanwhile, player 5 is setting a screen, and player 4 is going to be setting up a screen. At this time, player 1 is going to use that screen. He's going to be popping out towards this sideline, and player 2 is going to be running the baseline, where player 2 is now going to get that ball and take that 3-point shot. Now, against a man-to-man defense, this still works really good because we have player 3 now moving up, setting a screen on player 1, and now player 2 is going to be using player 4 and 5 as a staggered screen, and he's going to be popping out towards that sideline. Player 1 is going to pass him the ball, and he's going to take that 3-point shot. Now, all of these basketball plays work really well in the last couple of seconds, so if you need a 3-point shot, these are great plays to run. Now, this next play, this fifth and final play, is one of my favorite plays to run. It's based out of the triangle offense, and it got one of my players 5 3-point shots in the first quarter alone. Actually, in the first 3 minutes of the game alone. Now, I should mention that this play works really well against a 3-2 zone as well as a man-to-man defense. This actually kills a man-to-man defense. So first, we're going to have player 1 pass to player 2, and he's going to go down into this low corner. Next, what we're going to have, you can do some other triangle play. It doesn't really matter out of that, but the main thing to come from this is a 3-point shot for player 1 over in this corner. So what we're going to do is have player 3 set a screen for player 4, who's going to use that screen, and player 2 is going to pass to player 4. Now, player 4 has that ball, player 3 pops out, and now what we're going to have is player 3, he can pop out, or he can go and set a screen in that low post, which is what I prefer. Player 4 is going to dribble over towards this side, and player 1 is going to be using player 5 and player 3 as a screen. Hopefully, his defender gets pinned on one of those two players, and he's going to pop out towards this area between the free throw line extended and the baseline. It's up to him. If he pops up to the free throw line extended, then he's going to, if he doesn't have the ability to shoot the ball, player 4 is going to go down into that low corner, and we're going to be setting up the triangle with player 3, 1, and 4. However, if he is open, he can bang that shot right away. Now, these are all great plays to run with your team. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are and if you would run these plays or if you run these plays already. Anyways, I will see you guys again later on today for the second video of the day.